Welcome back to the channel, and today in Instruments of Destruction, we are further exploring the Shockwave feature, which was recently introduced into the game, because I was kind of disappointed that the Shockwaves, I couldn't get them to get much bigger than what you see right here, which is still, honestly, it has a pretty massive effect on these buildings. And that's because I was actually wrong about how the shockwaves, the limits of the shockwaves. Oh my goodness. Okay, well maybe even this was more powerful than I thought it was. But apparently if I go into just the settings here, there's this sandbox setting called Mega Impacts, which I was unaware of. And currently it is set at 0, but I guess this essentially sets the limits of the shockwaves. So I guess the shockwave inducing creations I built were severely limited by this setting being on 0. And today we're gonna compare how the enhanced Mega Impact setting is going to impact the shockwaves. Hopefully the results will be shocking. All right, so let's just do a straight A/B test. I'm just gonna do one slam with the hammer from full extension to the left all the way down to the right, and we're gonna see how the shockwave looks at 0, and then we're just gonna raise it up and see if we can notice a difference as we get up to maximum. Here we go. So pay attention right over here to the size of the shockwave. Here we go. All right, so from this perspective, without seeing any of the damage on the buildings, it is relatively underwhelming considering how fast the hammer's going. And I just realized I didn't even have to restart the build. I just gotta open up this menu. So now let's go to point 1 and see what kind of impact that has. Literally, the impact it has. All right, not noticing that much of a difference. All right, let's bump it up. Let's just go to point 5. How about that? We're just gonna go halfway. And okay, hold on. Oh, I think I'm realizing the size of the shockwave. Whoa, okay, hold on a second here. I guess the size of the shockwave isn't as much a visual thing as it is just a physical thing. Because those buildings should definitely not be getting impacted by the shockwave from this distance. I was expecting to see this like dome of air turbulence to be bigger, but apparently that's not the case. All right then, well that is just 0.5. Let's see what happens. Let's just bump it up to max. We're just gonna bump it up to 1. Mega impacts 1. Here we go. I'm gonna look at the buildings now. Oh, what? This building got completely demolished, yet all these buildings survived. So now with this look even from back there. Oh man, I gotta wait till we spawn in the aerial shockwave thing, or as some of you in the comments were calling it, the rods from God, or the God rods. I don't know, something like that. Apparently it's an actual type of weapon that was theorized. All right, yeah, we're literally just gonna destroy this whole, look at this. This is so sad. It's just seeing the grass move, like the grass impact moving as well as all the debris. We've cleared this island with this hammer. Okay, so that does get me curious before we start experimenting with the aerial one. Is this the optimal design right here? If I remove that, does that change much of how much this is gonna impact things? All right, let's see. Okay, well that wasn't exactly like, I didn't take a full swing that first time. I don't know if it makes much of a difference. To be honest, this one doesn't feel too much different. It's just like, I just think impact is impact on this. Okay, well maybe, I don't know. I don't know how to tell the difference. Okay, now I'm really excited for this. We're loading in my shockwave missile here. So originally it was put here because I wanted it to come directly down on top of this building. So let's just stick with that for now. All right, you go on up. And I'm gonna enhance this thing with some logic after we just do a quick test here, because this thing can totally be enhanced with logic. We can set an altimeter sensor and everything. And here we go, coming back down. Look how fast this thing is going. This is gonna destroy the whole map. Oh, I guess not. Oh, okay, there we go. That was not the best view of it. I think actually hitting the building probably hurt me there. So let's reset and let's hit in front of the building again. I think I've released the missile. I'm just gonna watch the ground. We're gonna see what kind of impact it has. I believe Mega Impact is still on 1. Well, it is definitely more impactful than I remember it being. And actually, I don't even have to remember it. I can just set it back down. Let's just set it back down to 1 so we can compare it. This is what it's like without mega impacts all the way up. It's all the way down now. So massive difference. And let's just go right back to the full power for another comparison, just because the AB is really fun. Any second. There we go. Look at the grass. Oh, that is so much better. Okay, so in addition to this new Shockwave thing that just enhances the power of Shockwaves greatly, Logic has also been updated since I last showed the Logic update. It's been an update to the Logic update, which is going to make it much easier to automate this thing. Okay, so I am going to do, what was it? I think the distance sensor had an altitude option. Activate mode, altitude. So max distance when this thing is 200, really the max? 200 seems actually pretty low, doesn't it? But yeah, as you can see, now there's this out thing. So when I set this to go out into something, I'll actually be able to see the wiring of it, which I couldn't in the earlier update. So it's gonna be so much easier to see what I've done with Logic. So I'll have this activate these controls, 1 and 0. So then if I put the input to this connector to be also 1, so now you can see, oh, now you can see it has that connection drawn so I can see where it's going. But now I also want it to send the signal to all of the thrusters. So when it reaches a certain altitude, it disconnects and activates all of these thrusters. So I'm going to set this input to 1. And I think I can copy and paste. Oh, I think that's an issue. No, it's not an issue. Okay. So if I click on this. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So if I click on this logic gate, I see everything it's hooked up to. But if I click on this thruster, then it just shows me what the thruster is hooked up to. So that makes a lot of sense. All right, that's actually really handy. So now if I copy and paste that setting to all of these thrusters, you can see the logic gate gets hooked up to all of these thrusters. And it's not a logic gate, it's a distance sensor. It's the altitude sensor. Theoretically, when this gets to a certain altitude, it should just automatically disconnect. So here, let's spawn in. I'm gonna go back. Oh, what happened? Wait. Oh no, I've destroyed everything. I didn't even mean to. Oh, let's go back. Everything's just on by default? Wait, what did I do wrong? What if I set it down to 0? Okay, maybe I got it inverted? Because at 0, it doesn't do anything. I assumed that it had to be above this in order to send an output. Well, here, let's try this. Output inverted is this, and then these ones, how do I delete these? Can I just, oh no, I deleted the part, undo. Okay, I think I actually had to do the inverted signal. So now if we go up, oh boy, the follow camera's not even, oh, see, whoa, this is so crazy. This is so crazy. Whatever just happened was so crazy to see. So 200 isn't a lot as far as altitude goes, unfortunately, but it's enough for this thing to just be a beast. All right, so now if I have normal cam on, let's see what happens. We go up, I'm hands-free, it activates everything automatically. And then we just have that massive impact. Okay, but is there a way for me to have it not do that until much later? Okay, I'm gonna do an experiment here. I'm gonna go with a logic timer. I'm gonna put a logic timer over here. Now, if I copy the settings from this and paste them over here, oh, dang, it doesn't paste the connections. So the output of this logic gate is gonna be, oh, actually, now that I've already set the input of these to 1, that actually, I don't actually, this isn't like scrap mechanic. I don't have to manually wire this stuff up. Because the input of these is 1, it's so obvious. Because the input of these is 1, if I just set the output of this to 1, it automatically wires up to every single thruster. The wires were making me think that I did that manually, but nope, that's just kind of automatic. So it's really easy to set the controls then. Okay, never mind. Oh boy, I just realized, look, we have so many more we have more than 30 logic connections now. This goes up to over 1,000. You can just keep going. Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to the beginning. Now this timer is going to delay by 5 seconds, and that is pretty much it. And then this is going to output to all of the thrusters and the disconnects. So now we should go up much higher, I believe. And if we even wanted to go longer, it should be a 5-second delay. We can probably hook a timer into another timer to basically delay it more and more and more. But as you can see, that looks like plenty of height to get. Oh, look at that building's already destroyed. But now, there you go. There you have it. Okay, so now this just needs one more thing added to it with logic. Because you can see it goes up after a designated amount of time and altitude. It'll disconnect, shooting back down. But here's my issue with it, which I want to use logic to fix. It hits the ground, the thrusters stay on, and it just goes wild. I only want it to be a shockwave-based creation. I don't like that it goes and, like, shoots off into random directions after it lands. So now I want to try to program it to turn the thrusters off once it gets under a certain altitude. So now the output of this logic gate is actually going to now be the thing that goes to all of the thrusters, which means this is not going to have that output. And for some reason, I don't know how to delete a control. When I press delete, I end up deleting the entire parts. Oh, there we go. It's backspace. So this logic gate is going to activate all the thrusters. Okay, so when this distance sensor gets above 200, it sends out a signal to 3 and 2. So I'm going to have this receive an input from 3 and 2, but it also needs to receive an output from the delay timer, telling it that it is ready to activate the thrusters. So that's going to be 7 and 6. So then it also receives 7 and 6. So now if 3 and 2 and 7 and 6 are on, so it'll be like that and that, only then will it actually output. So you can actually test out your logic hookups here. So you can pretend like one of them is active and seeing what the end result is. That's really cool. So once we get above a certain state and then the timer triggers, it'll turn on the thrusters and disengage the connection point. And then once we get down below a certain altitude, the distance sensor will then turn off, which will turn off the thrusters, and then it can't activate again. So I think this should do it. So let's see if the logic works. Oh no. Why is that? No, that should not be happening right now. See, this should not be on. But yet it is on? Yeah, as soon as I spawn it in, you can see. Okay, hold on. It's the bottom ones that are going on for some reason. Let me remove that one and remove that one. We only want the top ones. There we go. Now, is it going to work? It should go up. And then please let it do the disconnect thing. Yes, disconnected. Thrusters are on. And then please let the thrusters turn off when it gets down to a certain altitude. Here, I'm slowing down time so I can follow it. We're at 10% speed. Turn off. No, turn off. The thrusters have not turned off. They were supposed to turn off. I'm an idiot. You know why I'm an idiot? The distance sensor gets left up in the sky. That's why I'm an idiot. This distance sensor needs to be on here to function. Oh, I cannot believe that. I just gotta move it to right there, that's all. I don't know where 200 distance is, or altitude rather. But we're about to find out, I hope. Please, turn off. Turn off. You should be turning off by now, right? Okay. Why are you ignoring my commands? That distance sensor should turn it off. All right, but oh man, look at this. This is still so cool. It's not working as intended, but I'm still satisfied by the results. Oh, my issue is these are on toggle, and that was my issue. My logic was never wrong. My thruster settings were on toggle. They need to be on normal. Okay, now that they're all set to normal, now the thrusters should only trigger when they're receiving the signal. Before, they had to receive a signal once, and then they would just stay on. So that was the problem. All right, we're going down. So now, please turn off. Why are we turning? Oh, well, because, yeah, there we go. This building right here is so weak. It just disappears every single time, leaving the support structures back. And there we go. They are off. And then it is just left the gravity to finish the job. As it releases a massive shockwave through these buildings, completely obliterating this one as usual. Knocks the top off of this one. Is this not satisfying? Like, this knocks the bottom, like the upper bottom section of this one just gets knocked out somehow. This is a strange shockwave, isn't it? All right, let's move the speed up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, see? Now this thing just stays here where it was, you know, where we leave it, rather than it zooming off in random directions, causing more destruction. You know, who would want to cause more destruction in a game like this? I could just have one more function of this, and then it just happens automatically. So this light, a basic light, can just be used as an on or off button that just automatically works. So I don't need an input for this. I can just remove that input. I can have always on, and then just have it being output to, let's just say 9.8. So then all of these, I can change the input to be 9.8. And then if we just make sure that the activation mode on the balloons is normal, now when I spawn in, hands-free, this thing is just gonna launch up into the air. I don't have to press a thing, and it's gonna do everything automatically, including turning itself off when it lands. This is such an epic piece of technology. Yes. Okay. And then one finale one for fun. I'm gonna put it back onto the building now. We're going back into the, hitting this building. Here it comes. The building is gone. Okay, well, one more in slow-mo. Gotta do slow-mo now. Oh, this is so satisfying. Oh, the shockwave is great. I wasn't quite centered on the building, but it was close enough. All right. And then it just tumbles off into the ocean. All right, man, I am looking forward to diving into the workshop after they've had some time to mess around with the logic and stuff, and even shockwaves. So yeah, do you guys have any other ideas? Let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you'll probably enjoy some more stuff that you can find on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.